Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet, a YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right. We're just gonna play a game of Risk. Remember? I don't know, Misha. This all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play a game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning two corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Hee-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanged, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily, "Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune." Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little bit larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center that's surrounded by chairs. A smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves, stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else, in fact. Nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But most noticeable thing that the room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No? What do you mean no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hee-chan, let's play Risk. Come on. You promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking going through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the game. Air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hee-chan, Shi-chan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha 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 ha. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little bit more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it down for Shizune, and in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temple as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, though. I might try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces to try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. This seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Damn it. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win, yay! There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Don't look so sad, Hichan. You were really giving your best, that's what I thought. Sometimes your best isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hichan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shi-chan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they are daring, and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there, isn't that great, Hichan? That isn't enough, though. Just potential is enough. There is no point in potential if you don't have to take the first step. There is no point if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Hichan, but that's so demanding. Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. Hichan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet, but spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Hichan, but I hope you're not just saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hichan, if you're going to say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth. And there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing at the very least. Shizune smiles at that in a mischievous way, but that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. It is a long game. It's like playing Monopoly. There's no quick way to play Monopoly. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there over the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. Oh, like in Brave Fencer Musashi, where you'd like to save the librarian from zombies. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. I can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. On the second floor, the hallway is a carbon copy of the third one. Wide, of course, and plain. Like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to. But then there is a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hall? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either. It's just barely ajar so that I can see that it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside, and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks open as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier than I had anticipated. After this, it became a game of Resident Evil. Leaning over and poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips quickly is snatched away. Oh, hello. Ellipses. I like the music in this game. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. "Hello there. May I help you?" Wavy-haired girl. Yeah, I was looking for the library." Suddenly staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she is a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she like the tallest girl I have ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Yeah, I don't know what everyone else's height requirements are, but the heights of people that I would date would be anywhere between 4 foot tall and 9 foot tall. Hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Sure. I like talking to people. I was looking for books, but yeah, if you're polite and nice to talk to, I'd love talking to you. Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. What can I say? I'm quite the sucker for people that are affable. And everyone's like, what the fuck does that mean? It means people that are polite and courteous and friendly and welcoming. Then again, I also am quite the fan of decorum. And no, I won't define that word too. Look it up on the internet. It's the biggest library ever. Just saying it's something I'm big on. Albeit informal. What can I say? I'm just a casual, laid-back person. Who I feel like the developer of this game probably has the same, personality and mindset as me, which honestly makes me worried about the person who made this game. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes means that she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. Bow, bow, bow. I prefer the way my pronunciation. Like you're doing a formal bow. I don't know. one which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with the formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process or offering of the offerer preparing the drink. Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I'm always at a mix for things, because I'm a kind of person that if I see someone who needs help with something, I feel like an overwhelming urge to want to help them, but at the same time, I don't want to disrespect somebody. It's like one time I saw an elderly person trying to struggle to stand up, and it's it was a little awkward, and I still offered to help, and the person still was grateful for the offer, but they declined because they want to do it themselves, and I understand completely. But at the same time, it's on the one hand, you want to help people, on the other hand, you understand the person doesn't want to feel emasculated, and feeling that they can't do something themselves. So it's a mix of, you want to be respectful of people, but you also want to help people too. So at times I'd say really the best thing you do in that situation is just read the room. You can read somebody's body language, their vocal tones, and just play it by ear. At the end of the day, what matters most is just be yourself and just do what comes normal to you. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring the water in the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamishi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room, Mutao. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Yes, I'm more of a tea person, but if somebody makes me coffee, I'll drink it. Like I say, I try to be polite, but I also expect people to be polite to me in return. What can I say? I'm not a formal person in any way. I tend to be a very chill, laid-back, casual person, but I'm really big on being courteous and polite to people, which I know sounds weird, but I'll do a head nod, sort of bow to people a lot of times, and be very friendly and smile at people a lot. It's funny, I'm a bit of a depressed person, but I tend to be very friendly and very cheerful acting toward people. But I'll bow toward people. One point I'd strain my neck. I don't remember how, but I went to a Walmart and I was still bowing toward everybody. Heck, I'll nod and bow toward people on a phone call or reading a letter, or say if I'm walking down the road and I see a cat. So, yes, I'll be polite to animals. or to people in ways that they can't even see me being polite. I'm weird. I tend to be... I value courtesy. And I value treating people with respect. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of people that purposely go out of their way to take offense to people not following certain, like, whatever made up fucking gobbledygook rule they make for what they consider polite. As far as I'm concerned, it's about intention. You know, you can tell if someone's just being a, you know, if they're trying to be an asshole to you, or if it's just, hey, we're just having a normal conversation. I'm sorry your random fucking rule or some bullshit you want to impose on other people is, you know, whatever. Be fucking chill about it. That's the thing. It's just like, I guess the best way to put it is this. I don't like people that make up fucking fake rules to say, oh, you have to do this and do that. Just so it's like it's like those people don't value politeness. They value being difficult and contentious and argumentative and just all around just difficult to deal with people. Whereas me, I'm sort of the opposite. I'm not formal about stuff, but I'm like, I tend to be a very easygoing person. I tend to be a very easy to get along with person. I tend to go out of my way to try to adapt to whatever's most comfortable for other people to be around. And in general, I tend to also be a bit of a shy, timid person who tends to be... Like, I'm very talkative in these videos, but in real life, I really don't talk to people very much. And when I do, I tend to gauge my conversation around them. I tend to be a very easygoing, friendly, cheerful person. Or maybe is my cheerfulness just me masking my depression? I don't know. Heck, I think in any relationship I've ever been, I didn't even tell partners I had depression. I just kept that shit to myself and just was a cheerful, happy person. Or at least... I mean, it's not faking. I actually do smile and mean it. It's just... I tend to not share the things that make me feel sad or upset or personal issues. But I talk about it all the time on these videos on my channel because, well, this is my space to, you know, talk about whatever is on my mind without a filter. I mean, it'd be weird. It would be really weird if I was talking about that kind of stuff with random fucking people. Or, you know? What can I say? I'm just saying this. I have certainly a bit of anxiety when it comes to those sort of situations about, you know, talking to people, but I'm certainly not bad at it. I'm actually very good at being sociable. It's just that in general in life, there's been a lot of times where I just didn't have opportunities for it, or there were other circumstances that were imposed that made that difficult. But in general, a lot of my life is either I'm just not around people or I'm at jobs where it's, you know, factory work or something and I'm just busy with that. There aren't really very many opportunities for me to be sociable. But I'm just saying, during any of the situations where I have opportunities to be sociable, I'm actually very good at it. And everyone's like, well, why don't you have relationships then? I don't know. Severe emotional trauma and I'm ugly as fuck. Also, I'm poor. You know, I don't exactly have money to flash or anything, and I don't, like... then again, if I was rich, I'd be wearing, like, cosplay outfits and shit. Just saying this. I'm actually good at being sociable. That being said, in general, I'm not super talkative when I'm around people. And I'll tend to spend more time listening than I do talking. And I'll tend to avoid talking about anything that... Like, here's the thing, on the channel, whether it's in my community post, typing stuff out, or talking here, I talk a lot about stuff that makes me anxious, or nervous, or scared, or sad, or angry, and about stuff that, you know, is honestly about stuff that's been traumatizing for me throughout my life. But when it comes to real life conversations, I fucking avoid the fuck out of all of that. Also, I tend to cuss less. like I said, I'll cuss a lot in these videos. I tend to cuss less, though, depending on how casually I know the person and what their manner of speech is. I may throw in some cuss words just if it's more fitting for the conversation, like if the person I'm talking to is doing so. Then, but in general, in real life, I tend to avoid cussing, and I tend to spend more time listening than I do talking. But right now, it wouldn't be much of a reason to do that, because I'm literally the only person speaking in this video, because it's a video game Let's Play. So, yeah. But in real life, I tend to spend more time, even in a conversation, and in general, I tend to not have too many opportunities to be sociable, especially as time has gone on. Especially in most recent years, it's just, I don't know, I think everybody as a whole in the world has become less sociable. Whether that can be blamed on certain things that occurred 4 years ago or not, with, the whole world, caring about a 6-foot distance rule and masks and shit. I'm just saying this, after the whole COVID pandemic stuff and lockdowns, it seems like everyone as a whole became more antisocial. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that sees it that way. But in general, like I said, I'm actually fairly good at being sociable. When I do, I tend to listen more than I do talking. And when I do talk, it tends to be very sparse. And I'll say this, while I do bounce around on so many different subjects when I make videos, when I'm talking to people IRL, in real life, I tend to just use that person as a bit of a sounding board. What they're talking about, I can force myself to stay on the subject they're talking about. Whereas if I'm talking to myself, I tend to just hop around and talk about whatever. But in general, I tend to be the kind of person that tends to be quiet and reserved, and I tend to just listen to what the other person says, and I tend to just have conversation based on what they're talking about. Usually I'm not the one steering the direction of the conversation. But the best way to describe me when it comes to conversations is I'm not nearly as talkative as I am right here, and I tend to be a very polite, a very friendly, a very open, very patient, understanding person who tends to not really express much anger or negative feelings in a conversation. And I tend to be very non-confrontational. I tend to be very easygoing. And I tend to not try to push things on, to get my point, or I don't really push my view on things very much. I tend to just talk to people and tend to be more just conversational. And you're like, what do you mean by that? I'm just saying, some people tend to push things to be more aggressive or like a debate style, whereas me, my goal is never to try to convince somebody of something or even to have an actual debate of anything. My goal in a conversation is I just want to talk to people, and I tend to just try to get to know them and try to just chill and relax. Or if we're playing a game of pool, I tend to just enjoy the game. Heck, I know a lot of times I play games with friends, to play Halo and stuff, and really wouldn't be a lot of talking, it'd just be sitting and enjoying the game. So, in general, I'm not a very talkative person. I guess that's one point of the Let's Plays, is to, one, it's a place for me to talk without a filter, but also it's a way for me to, feel more comfortable talking out loud. So, but yeah, in general, when it comes to talking to people, I tend to be, honestly, in this situation, there probably wouldn't be I'd probably be sitting here quietly just drinking my tea and probably go for a few minutes without even saying a word. Without either of us saying a word. Like I said, when it comes to actually talking to people, I tend to spend most of the time just listening. But yeah, when it comes to talking to people, I tend to be a very easygoing person, and I just tend to be relaxed and enjoy the conversation. It's just definitely a very different thing when it comes to recording a solo video of you just talking to yourself. So, yeah, and again, I can talk about a lot of things that upset me or emotional, personal things here, whereas in real life conversation, I would be avoiding talking about anything really personal or anything that's, makes me sad or upset or anything bad. Because one, that stuff's very personal too, but also just, I tend to avoid talking about any of those things like, I don't know, my feelings or anything bad that's occurred or things that bother me. I tend to avoid talking about that stuff IRL. Heck, there's lots of times I've talked to people in person and the people actually thought I did not have feelings or emotions. But it's more so, or they think that, or they'd be very surprised to find out that, I have depression and stuff like that. But what can I say? I guess I'm just very good at hiding feeling sad. But at the same time, if I'm talking to somebody in person, one, I'm legitimately, if they're kind and polite to me and they seem happy to talk to me, then I'm legitimately happy to be talking to them. But more to the point is, it wouldn't make a very good first impression for, to start like, I'm so fucking depressed and all this shit. Like, no. Besides, even if I get to know them for a while, I don't really want to talk about that sort of stuff. Unless there's some extreme situation where I feel the need to open up and I trust them and, there's someone I, feel I can trust. But even then, I would rather just, hey, talk about something nice and fun and maybe listen to them. I don't really talk about that kind of stuff to people. Usually if there's a situation where I do open up and talk to people, whether it's, heck, I know August 4th, which is like 13-ish days ago, stuff happened and I felt really upset about that. It was really, really hurt by certain unexpected events that occurred. And so I called up my mom and I talked to her for 3 hours straight. And it was like this sort of thing where I was just talking nonstop. Though granted, she did talk a bit here and there herself, but I'm just saying I was definitely carrying most of the conversation. But it's just I was upset. And I appreciate that she listened to me. Heck, around 14-ish years ago, some stuff happened and I talked my friends' ears off. There were people that I considered my best friends too. Granted, I don't really see them much anymore. People have lives after all, and they moved on with what was with them, and they had their own stuff going on. And at times I miss my friends. I would like to see and talk to them, but, well, they're busy. But I'm just saying back then, 14-ish years ago, some stuff happened, and I took that stuff really hard, and I talked my friends' ears off. I probably annoyed the fuck out of them. But, just saying, yeah. But in general, when it comes to just talking to people, even people that are close friends, most days I won't talk about personal things. Heck, I'd say to people that even are best friends, I wouldn't be talking about stuff that makes me sad, or stuff that's wrong, or stuff that's going on that's fucked up, or even about really personal things. Even to people that I consider best friends or family members, I wouldn't be talking about, very personal things. Or stuff that, I wouldn't really be talking too much about stuff that makes me sad or upset. I just don't really talk about that stuff with people. But, yeah, it's just when it comes to IRL conversations, I tend to be a very courteous, very easygoing, very laid-back person. I tend to genuinely really like conversations with people and getting to know people, and I tend to spend a lot of time listening to them. And I tend to more so focus what we talk about based off of what they're talking about. So I can stay on one subject then because I'm talking about what they're talking about. And I guess the best way to describe my conversation style is I'm very non-aggressive. I'm not, like, I don't know, people say I'm not pushy enough or anything, that I'm, like, too laid back. But in general, I just like talking to people, and I tend to just enjoy the conversation. Or just enjoy even sitting there quietly with them and just enjoying each other's company. I'm not a very talkative person IRL, and even when I am, I usually avoid talking about anything personal or sad or anything bad. Heck, most people I've talked to IRL think I'm a super, super happy person, or think I have no emotions at all. They're like, oh, like he must have never been sad once in his life. I don't know if I should take it as a compliment or insult. I just treat it as, and just shrug, and that's just... I tend to be, if anything, I would say a bit of a wall around certain emotions, either because I tend to be a very withdrawn person, or at times there are certain things that legitimately are a bit traumatizing that, again, I wouldn't want to talk about with, people that I'm having conversations with. I feel like it would kind of like taint the conversation, and I'd rather just have a happy conversation with people. I'd rather not bring down the mood talking about, my personal shit, and I'd rather, them not just think of me in that way. I'd rather them just see me as me. I'd rather just be myself and just have a happy conversation and be chill and just enjoy hanging out with people. But it is nice, though, to have the Let's Plays where I can just talk about whatever the fuck. My ear is itchy. Sorry about that. I suppose I should get back to doing this. But yeah, it's just, when it comes to IRL stuff, I'm good at being sociable. It's just, I tend to spend more time listening to people than I do actually talking. And I tend to be very non-aggressive and non-confrontational. I tend to just try to get along with the person I'm talking to. And if they're polite and courteous with me, and then I just really enjoy the conversation, especially if they seem to be happy. Like, I delight in the idea of talking to people that are happy to be talking to me. But if the person's being rude to me or seems to not want me around, then I find the conversation with the person disgusting. And I'll just try to basically excuse myself and just get the fuck away from them. Because in general, in real life, I don't like the idea of, like, I don't know, overly aggressive, confrontational people. I don't like people that are, I don't know, overly vulgar or aren't polite or anything. I don't like the idea of really arguing with people. It's not fun. Heck, in general, I don't like yelling. Like, I don't like it when people are yelling and being... Like, in general, I don't like people that are violent, or people that are yelling, or people that are overly rude. Like, you ever go to some place and the person's, like, rude to the waitress? It's a little awkward. I don't like that. But in general, like, if I'm with somebody, like, they're being rude to me, or they're being overly aggressive, or if it seems like they don't want to talk to me, or... Heck, if it seems like they want to have some argument about something and they just want to, like, push, like, oh, we need to agree on something, you need to... No, I mean, I don't want that. Same way, like, if there's people that are just yelling or like, there's some people that are just very negative all the time, or yelling all the time, or just seem to be, like, very... Like, they just want to criticize everyone around them and talk about, like, how shitty the fucking world is. I mean, I can understand. There's lots of things. I have issues with the world. But I'm not constantly fucking negative about it. Especially in a way that's condescending or, insulting. Especially to the person you're talking to. I'm just saying this. I enjoy hanging out with people and having conversations with people. But I don't like being around people that are, like, I don't know, domineering or very rude or just I don't know, make you feel unsafe. Like if at any point if the person you're talking to is like making you feel uncomfortable or scared, I don't like that. But it just, I don't know. Because there are some people that tend to be like upset all the time and start yelling and stuff about everything and nothing. And it's like they're always angry and pissed off. Or like threatening to people. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't like violence. I mean, I like violence in video games. I like anime fights and stuff. But I don't like people that are like, I don't know, say if you're somewhere and they throw something into a wall. Or start breaking shit, or start just yelling and screaming and cussing. I mean, it's one thing to yell like, say, Super Meat Boy. Then you're playing a video game, even then. Usually, if you're in my situation, you're just playing by yourself. The only people hearing you are just listening to a video. It'd be different entirely if you had someone sitting next to you. Let alone if you're like yelling at a person or about random shit. That doesn't... I'm just saying, from my perspective, that's something I really don't like. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable. And it just makes me not want to be around that person at all. I mean, I understand people get angry sometimes, and that's understandable. I'm not judging people for that. I'm judging people for being either hateful to the person around them and taking their frustrations out on them and just being abusive to people, or people that are just, well, I guess the best way to put it, make you feel like you're unsafe being around them, or makes you feel like they're belittling your value as a person. If you get what I'm saying. Just saying, I like people that are polite and easy to get along with, and I tend to be... Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with people occasionally having a discussion or an argument. It's just, one, if that person does... It's all they do. And two, even then, if you're going to have a discussion or argument with some people, there's certain lines you shouldn't cross. Especially if you want that person to not, dislike your presence. Like, it's one thing, you're not trying to be overly pleasing, but it's another thing, it's, there are lines you shouldn't cross. That where it's like, yeah, you need to understand there's some things that would be unforgivable if you behave in a certain way. Whether it's being overly violent or overly, I don't know, I guess anything that would count as, say, verbal or physical abuse tends to be things that I at least think some people would probably dislike. I mean, I very strongly dislike that stuff. Maybe I'm just weird, but that's just, I tend to just be a very easygoing person, and I don't like people that are violent or, I don't know, abusive. Whether it be verbal or physical abuse. I'm just saying, if you're talking to someone and they make you feel like either scared that they're going to kill you, or speak to you in a way that makes you feel like, or outright stating that you're garbage, well, just saying. I very strongly dislike that. But then again, I'm also a person who just tends to be very easygoing. I mean, I tend to be very easy to get along with people. Usually people will criticize the fact that I'm not aggressive enough. Funny, that seems to be the main thing anybody criticizes me for. That I'm... apparently I'm a bad person because I'm not violent enough. That I'm not aggressive enough, but in general. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint. I have angry thoughts. I have violent thoughts. I get angry, I yell. I mean, there's times I've told people off. Heck, granted, thank goodness in this one situation the person didn't kick my fucking ass. But there was this dude, a full foot taller than me, and I'm not short. I'm 5'11". But this dude was way taller than me. He used to be in the Marines. He was a sniper at one point. He'd actually been shot a few times. Abdomen apparently. He worked as a corrections officer now. And, well, he usually would get in trouble for beating the inmates. He actually broke his foot once by, crippling a few inmates. Basically, he was kicking the inmates so hard in the ribs that he was shattering their ribs, but he hurt one of the bones in his foot from doing that. Though his favorite thing to do was usually to break people's arms. Anyway, we were in a public place, and, well, he said something very, very rude to me, and I was very, very angry with how he responded to me. So I got right in his face and screamed at him and told him to fuck off. And I did more than just tell him to fuck off. I went on a minute-long tirade of screaming at the top of my lungs in this dude's face. Now, don't get me wrong. I've never killed anyone in my life, and I've only ever hurt anybody in self-defense. And honestly, I'm not very athletic. I've never had a six-pack, and I'm not very strong at all, and I'm not a good fighter. Most of my fights consist of me being jumped in a fucking alley, beaten 5v1, and getting my head stomped on and having, goose egg, black and purple bruises sticking out a couple inches from my, left temple of my face. Just saying, getting slammed into brick walls and stomped on and punched a few thousand times, that sucks. That sucks a lot. It's very unpleasant. Just saying, I suck at fighting. I've been in a lot of fights, but usually it consists of multiple people kicking the fucking shit out of me. Thankfully, I haven't really been in fights much anymore. Then again, I've gotten older, so I think my body would just break down. Pretty sure I'd probably break bones in my body if I got the same ass kickings I got in the past. My body is less durable. So that sucks. But anyway, back to the Marine dude who was a correction officer. He tended to be very... And granted, he probably has to be given the job. I mean, some people in there can be violent. You have to be able to be... an asshole about certain things in order to survive. I mean, I'm just saying I would not be a good correctional officer or a police officer or military. I wouldn't be good at any of those authoritative jobs because in general, I never really liked the idea of telling people what to do, but also I tend to be a very non-aggressive person. So honestly, I probably have the worst personality type. Honestly, I couldn't be a cop. I wouldn't have what it takes in any way, shape, or form to be able to do that job. It's just, one, something I wouldn't want to do, but also, two, I understand I don't have the personality for it. I wouldn't be capable of doing the job. I just wouldn't be up to that standard. I'd probably get myself killed even trying to do it. But at the same time, it's just saying the person I was yelling at in that situation, they'd been able to kill me with one fucking punch. Like I said, they were in the Marines, they've been shot a few times, they were a sniper. The person at least killed a couple dozen people. Some with sniper rounds, some with, close range shooting. Some of the people he literally, murdered with his bare hands. Again, not technically murder because it was, his job. But I'm just saying, his job at that point was now working corrections officer, and he regularly, would physically beat the shit out of the inmates. I mean, obviously it couldn't be that bad because, he didn't get fired or anything. But I'm just saying there's times where he, would hurt himself by, he didn't have too much feeling in his hands anymore. So what he would do is sometimes he would, beat the fucking shit out of an inmate because he couldn't, feel his hands hurt if he punched them over and over. Not that he would have needed to do that with me, because honestly the guy was much stronger than me and taller and more capable in every way. So honestly, I'm pretty sure one punch from that person in my face probably would have killed me. So I stood no fucking chance at all. But I'm just saying the person, they crossed a line that I wasn't okay with, and it made me very angry at them. And so I cussed them out. I yelled at the top of my lungs, screaming in their face. All the time knowing that if they throw a single fucking punch, they could easily fucking kill me. But at the same time, I didn't fucking care. I was ready to fucking fight that person. I was like, yeah, I probably can't win, but I'm still gonna try. At that point, the person throwing a punch, honestly, yes. It probably would have just instantly knocked me out and killed me. The end. But I didn't care. The person crossed the line. They behaved in a way that was completely un-okay. They had threatened innocent people I cared about. And so I got protective, and I protected people I cared about. But yeah, had that fight happen, I mean, I would have done my best to try to win. I'm just, I'm being realistic. I mean, the person is somebody who's killed like a couple dozen people and has professional military training and works at a corrections officer where they tend to get in trouble for being too physically violent with the people who are locked up for being violent. And I am a civilian in every sense. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts, but I have never had military training. Unless you count me, like, trying to do Kamehamehas after, like, watching Dragon Ball Z. Okay? So unless you count me being such a fucking weeb as being, military, I'm just saying, there's no fuck. I didn't stand a fucking chance. And I knew that going into that. But I didn't care. I mean, I'm not one to, like, be provoked due to pride or any kind of shit like that, because whatever. I don't fucking give a shit if people don't like me. I'm used to the idea of everybody in the world fucking hating me and considering me worthless garbage. I'm okay with that. Oh, what? Everyone thinks I look disgusting and everyone hates me, and oh yeah, you're poor and you're ugly and you're fat and you're worthless and like you can't do anything right. Whatever, I don't fucking care. I'm used to that. But at the same time, the person, they threatened people I care about. They were endangering other people. So I stood up to them in order to protect the people I cared about. Thankfully, the person didn't do anything. So that's good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking now, because I'd just be dead. Because there's no fucking chance in hell I would have won that fucking fight. But again, I wasn't, like I said, I was being protective. The person was, they were being extraordinarily rude. They were crossing multiple lines, and they were threatening people I care about. So I protected the people I cared about. Thankfully, it didn't come to fucking blows. I basically spent a minute yelling in the person's fucking face, telling them off for all the horrible shit they were doing and saying. And then we had a crowd around us, and, well, I guess maybe it just, the person realized that, hey, maybe the trained Marine officer who has actual military training and is like a foot taller than me, at this point, like, there's no way to justify, like, oh yeah, you beat the shit out of a fucking civilian who yelled at you after you were extraordinarily rude and, doing things that in of itself probably would not reflect very well of the Marines. Honestly, I would say probably if other people in the Marines were probably there, they probably would have taken my side on it. Just because I think they would probably feel a bit ashamed of the way that guy was behaving. I'm just saying, yeah, there's no fucking chance in hell I would have won that fight. No chance in fucking hell. But I didn't care. I was prepared to fight. I was prepared. I was pissed off. I was very, very angry. And I was prepared to fight and do my best. Honestly, though, I already knew, yeah, my chances were pretty much zilch. I had no fucking chance. But I was still determined I was going to do my best. And I was going to fight as dirty as possible. Because at the end of the day, I know that even in that fighting dirty fight, I probably still can't win. But I would still do my absolute best to win. At the very least, I'll make sure the person, if I die, at least they're going to the hospital. Okay, so I'm going to die in this fight. Well, you're going to be in the ER at least for an hour. I'm going to do something. It's like, I know I don't stand a chance, but I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to try my best to win, and I'm going to try my best to hurt you as bad as possible. And don't be wrong, I'd rather not hurt anybody. But if I'm going to be pushed back into a fucking corner, and, I don't have a choice anymore, then at that point, I'm going to do my best to try to win. Even if I feel like I don't stand a chance, I'm still going to do everything in my power to win, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make you regret ever fucking fighting me. If I can... At that point, if I can possibly put you in the fucking hospital and make you have a broken bone or something, I'll go for it. Because at that point, it's not like I'm doing it because I'm, wanting to hurt people. It's because you've made the decision to attack an innocent person who had no aggressive tendencies toward you whatsoever and was just being polite. And then you chose to try to attack me. But, yeah. What can I say? I try to live my life as a pacifist. I may enjoy violent... We'll drink some tea. I may enjoy violent movies, and horror movies, and violent video games. And heck, I enjoy, fighting stuff in anime, and I enjoy trying to copy, martial arts and boxing and karate and stuff. But I dislike the idea of, war or violence or murder and stuff. But at the same time, I'll definitely stand up for a cause I believe in. And I'll definitely stand up to protect myself or to protect others. I mean, I won't really be provoked too much on pride, but at the same time, if I get backed into a corner, I'll fight. I just don't like it. Part of me likes it, but I don't like that part of me that likes it. If that makes any sense. But in general, I tend to just be a very polite person. I tend to avoid that sort of stuff. But, if I have to, I've never killed anyone, and hopefully I never do. But the only times I've ever hurt anybody was always in self-defense or in defense of another person. But yeah, it's just... I really don't have any... Even right now, I'm looking at myself. I'm not athletic, I'm not a fighter. But if I get into a fight, then I'll do my best to win. And I'll do my best to survive. I'll do my best to hurt the other person in the fight as badly as possible. And if I have to in order to survive, I will kill the other person. But at the same time, I really, really don't want to. It's something I would greatly, greatly dislike. But at the end of the day, the goal isn't to be cruel or hurt anybody. The goal is survival. But yeah, I suppose I should get back to the game. Sorry about that, guys. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she is catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm with Class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slap myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. See? She's pretty cool about it. She understands the intention. She understands I'm not trying to be rude or oh, okay, cool. It's like this manner of speech. But yeah, she's laid back. I don't know. Why do I like everybody in this game? It's one, I'm pretty sure the developer of this game I'm pretty sure the developer of this game modeled the main character after their own personality. And I'm pretty sure it's my personality. The person sitting here, it's me. We're basically just watching Lunar D8 play a game about Lunar D8. Though honestly, if the developer of the game has the same personality as me, probably needs to see a therapist. But I will say this, everybody in this game I really like. Or is that just because they're cute anime girls? I mean, it could be both. Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kinds of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club. Yeah, I can't do that. Which uses the field near the school during the lunchtimes. The baseball club and the book club in room near the library. I heard the book club's full. Okay, so far nothing I can do. There are also numerous small ones, though, such as the art and music clubs. Okay, those sound fun. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Is there a limit to how many clubs you can join? Good. That's a relief. I really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems slightly amused to her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it, as Lily does the same. As I look over the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise to her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and then takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems to likely know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms that I have enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. It really has, and thank you for the tea. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I mean, if you want to, but I don't want to trouble you if you had somewhere else you had to be. I couldn't possibly ask for help. I should be able to find the right... Again, my sense of direction sucks so bad. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, don't call me out! Which they seem to have a habit of doing. Fuck you! It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Lily. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny your offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. I like the music. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together, we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It's easily dwarfs my old school library, with the distinct smell of old books, giving the place an almost old-world air. Okay, guys, I like reading books a lot. What about you guys? Am I just weird? Do you guys like reading too? I like reading, though honestly I like reading manga and light novels more. Or science books about, like, you know, volcanoes and stuff. There don't seem to be a lot of students here, considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Hello? Something from under the counter. Oh, you probably startled the person that hit their head. Ow. Why is everyone as clumsy as I am? I've walked into a stop sign before. It hurt. The stop sign won the battle. Something that under the counter thuds against it. It's followed by a... I'm just saying this. I can't ride a bicycle, okay? My sense of balance sucks. Heck, there was times I went to a bar and I was a designated driver. And we had someone think I was drunk and everyone else was sober, even though I was the only person who wasn't drinking alcohol. My sense of balance is terrible. But it does seem fun during the mosh pits I was in back in the time. It's all like, I think primarily I did the mosh pits during Boba Flex concerts, though I don't think that band exists anymore. Also, I don't think my legs or knees would handle a fucking mosh pit anymore. Like, I was in mosh pits quite a bit when I was younger. I don't think my body could handle that anymore. Honestly, I think if I were to hop into a mosh pit, I'd probably break something. I talk about myself like I'm a brittle fucking old man. I'm 37 years old. And yet I feel like I wouldn't be able to survive a mosh pit anymore. Then again, how old was I last time I was in a mosh pit? Fuck. Definitely my 20s. I think 24? Maybe? So like a decade and a half ago, pretty much. Yeah, I don't think I would survive a mosh pit anymore. And I'll say this. I remember watching System of a Down in concert. That was a lot of fun. Also, bands like, say, Mars Volta, or Korn, or Deftones, Disturbed. I saw Ozzy once. Saw Ozzy Osbourne once. Smile Empty Soul. I'm trying to remember other bands I've seen. I remember seeing a band called Evans Blue at a place called Al Rosa. Heck, I know a lot of the places like Germain Amphitheater and Promo West Pavilion. I'm pretty sure those places don't even exist anymore. It was in a really big city where most concerts are shown. I know anywhere I live, there really aren't going to be any concerts. You have to drive really far to get to a place with a ton of people. I don't know. Sing Trapped, Shinedown, Seether. I enjoyed the Korn concerts quite a bit. It's interesting seeing Disturbed, and like I said, System of a Down was really cool. Okay, I'll stop getting distracted, guys. Just saying, I would not be able to be at a mosh pit again. I would probably break a leg or something. I'd probably get myself killed. I don't think my body... I'm old, and I'm not athletic, and I feel like my bones are more brittle than they were when I was younger. And everyone's like, you're 37. I know, but I feel like I'm 80. Just saying, I'd have a terrible sense of balance, too. Like, I can't ride a bicycle, and there's no way I could afford, the medical bills for trying. And if I got hurt, then I wouldn't be able to, do a job and work. You hurt your leg. Well, now you can't afford medical bills, and also you lose your job because you got hurt. It's like, oh, you fell off a bicycle. Death. It's not even a joke at that point, because at that point it's like, what choice do you have? It's like, well, now you have medical bills you can't afford, and now you lose your job because you got hurt. So, yeah, I'm just saying, I suck. Heck, I tried juggling. I'm trying to learn to juggle. It's like Godsend Corn doing that. I have not improved at all at that, but I enjoy doing it. It's fun. I enjoy juggling. I just stand in my living room and I'm just throwing balls in the air and trying to, juggle. I mean, I've made zero improvement, but in general, I just like doing it. It's relaxing. It's nice just to... Heck, sometimes I'll do it with no music at all, and I'll just be just having fun doing it, even though I'm terrible at it. So even though I suck, I enjoy doing it. Hi there. The Origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to the extremely rigid attention. Oh my god, how is it? It literally is the librarian from Brave Fensu Musashi. Now, don't get me wrong, she has her... In the game Brave Fensu Musashi, the best game ever made for the PS1, she has her hair up, and she has a sort of scholarly hat. But aside from that, she literally looks, frame by frame, the exact same character model as the one from the video game Brave Fensu Musashi. Like I said, you have to save her from zombies first. Because before you save her from zombies, it's Scribe Shanky who's overseeing the library until you manage to free the librarian from the dungeon with the zombies. It's a really great game. Sorry if I make it sound lame. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. Why is everyone as clumsy as I am? And why is everyone so relatable and awesome? She's quick to reverse Lily's apology, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened, hee. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason, a little shorter than Lily, replete with her glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look. She seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Okay, so probably like special books with Braille. I know like sometimes I'll go to libraries and they won't have books I want, so I'll need to like put in requests, and they have to ship books from bigger libraries. Amidst her celebrations, partially for managed to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the counter, a corner of her eye, and freezes on the spot when she does. Okay? Hi. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. It's okay. I'm easy to not notice. It's cool. I'm used to it. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hasao, a new student. Hasao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hasao? Right, Hasao. Pleased to meet you too, Hasao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind, so she won't forget. That's understandable. I'd probably do the same. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hasao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How's it any responsibility at all? I don't get it. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. Again, whoever made this game, I feel like you're someone after my own mind and heart. Like we have the same spirit. I don't know if that's offensive to say. If you feel like offended that I'm comparing you to myself, but I feel like the personality that I'm getting from how you portray the main character and just the way the story is, I feel like you're somebody who tends to think and feel about things the same way I do. Which makes me worry about you, honestly. It's like, how do you write a game about me? Because given the personality of the main character, it's basically my personality. But, so there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops ahead. It seems to work, at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least her look looks slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. That would make sense. Given, there's a lot of blind students to be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably awesome. Yay! You have lots of books! That's awesome, and the fact you can transfer stuff from other places, that means if there's anything I want to read about, I can get it! That's awesome! I spend more new books than on my salary. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I have to organize the shelves and all of them. I'm sorry! It's so troublesome, they weigh so much. I wish I could quit the job. I'm sorry? A very awkward silence follows the revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. I'm sorry I make it so painful for you to talk. Very well, meanwhile, Yuko, I would like to have those books if it's alright with you. Okay, I'm gonna go find if there's manga around or something. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice here. Yay! The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is. A library. It's as if the calm moved from the room. I had tea with Lily and snuck with us in here. Unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for studying or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd students sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of several beanbags. Oh, hi! What you reading? It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. Hi there. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. Ooh, it must be a really good book. Hi! My name's Casio or something? Hasao? Nakai? Nike? Hi, I'm Lunar D8. What are you reading there? I mean, if you're really that much into this story, it must be like part of a series or something. It must be really good. You know, there was a Berserk Gluttony series. It's really good light novels. But yeah. What are you reading? Also, beanbags. That's pretty cool. Are they comfy beanbags? From the way she's acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm, and in fact her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. I mean, she probably just had to go to the bathroom. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and Before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I would say this, given the way her eyes are looking at me, I get the impression that she's very shy and bashful. So, I don't know, maybe she has anxiety issues to a degree. So, I should be cautious not to make her uncomfortable. But I'll say this, take a look, guys. I'm just saying, I like long hair. I think it looks really cute. So, I mean, granted, it's maybe a little weird that I'm being a little bit of a pervert here. I'm just like, hey, look, she has long hair, and it's pretty. Also, I like the eye color. I mean, granted, there aren't people with purple eyes in real life. I understand that. I mean, and I wouldn't expect people to have purple eyes in real life either. It'd be weird. I'm just saying I tend to look at people's eyes and people's hair and people's faces quite a bit, which might sound a little weird because numerous people have made a point to insult the way my face looks. Granted, it's not like any major issue. It's just, I don't know, people tend to say very rude things to me, and it's like, insults tend to stick, and it tends to make you feel sad. I'm just saying. I don't know. Then again, a lot of that was just people trying to hurt my feelings. So, I got bullied a lot, just in general for existence. So at that point, you just insult people based on everything. Sorry, getting self-absorbed, I guess. I'm just saying, I like long hair. Aside from that, I do feel like the way she's sitting on the beanbag, like I feel like something's off about the way it's drawn, but I still like the style. Though, again, I'm wondering like what book she's reading. I'm just saying this. I like her hair. Granted, honestly, I like everybody's hair so far in this game, too. I mean, granted, Shizune has short hair, but I still think she looks cute, and I still like her hairstyle. But I'm just saying, out of all the hairstyles I think I've seen so far, then again, I mean, I don't think there's been a hairstyle I've seen I didn't like. What can I say? I guess I'm easily pleased? I don't know, I'm just saying, out of all the hairstyles so far, I think I like this. I would say bookworm, but it'd be kind of unfair to judge her by like just seeing her like, oh, she's reading a bookworm. Like, no, obviously it's wrong. I don't know her name yet. I'm just saying I like her hair. Okay? So I'm being pervy. I get it. We'll go back to the game. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself, as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Yeah, I mean, I like meeting people. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. Hey, sorry, did I let my books down too loud? I seem to have startled her. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. Again, sorry if I was too loud dropping my books. It's a beanbag. It's low to the ground. It was kind of awkward to bend over, but everyone's like, yeah, but the person in the game isn't fucking 37 with poor knees. I get it. I'm just saying. Beanbag is on the ground. It's not like I'm sitting at something that's like waist level height. Okay? I'm clumsy. Maybe I misjudged the distance to the ground and I dropped the books too hard. But yeah, sorry, miss. I don't know your name. But yeah, I scared you. I'm bad. Sorry about that. What you reading? This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second I am shocked and then divert my eyes to the book in her hands, before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. I guess the best way to put it is this. I'll tend to look just to see like if I see something unusual, like, oh, okay. But at that point, okay, whatever. It's just the same way like if I see motion, like someone's doing sign language and stuff. Like, it's moving stuff. It's going to draw my eyes. But at the same time, I don't want to like be rude. But at the same time, like, I tend to be a very curious person. It takes too many seconds to collect myself, and I remember what I walked up to her for. Should I start with an introduction, or apologize for dropping my books? I think apology should come first. I'm sorry I scared you. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It It's okay. Purple-haired girl. Yay, I got the color right. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she just nods, just a little. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna read my books. I take the seat next to her. She hides herself behind her book. Okay, she must be very shy. Again, what are you reading? Life of Pi. Oh, I've heard people talk about that book. Never heard of it. So, sorry again for starting you. I'm Asal. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. No? We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Okay, so she's probably a little anxious. She probably doesn't talk to people very often. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I resist the urge to say, that's a nice name. Just have something to say. But really, it's the only thing I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt you. You're reading. I'll just check these books if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers of the introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. Like, again, I'm sorry I'm being pervy looking at your hair, just like, I do like long hair. Sorry. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to be immersed in the life of Pi. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, somebody sat down next to you and you're, like, trying to get a gauge on the person. I mean, we're both trying to understand each other and trying to, like, we're looking at each other trying to think, okay, what the fuck do I talk about? Each of us is trying to think of, like, what subject to bring up, and we're both, like, terrible at this, I guess. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. Are you angry at me? She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. Are you mad at me? I'm sorry I was checking you out. I'm just saying the long hair looks really nice. Sorry if I... Also, I'm just being really awkward. I can't think of topics of conversation. I'm sorry, I'm anxious and I don't really know how to talk to people. I've got to go do something. Okay, talk to you next time? Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs toward the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she's got a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see her, notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kind of shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. Maybe we should have led with her name. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear, Yuko. Would you excuse me? I'd better try to find her. Okay? Sure. I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. I would appreciate that. I don't like being confused or in the dark. Right, I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? I don't know! Nothing. I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. I think I just made her nervous. Maybe she's not used to talking to people. The most offending thing I can think of is that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. I don't know. Maybe I should have talked about the story of the video game Brave Fencer Musashi. You have to try to be careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think. And she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder, it's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe it's just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casual only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking as she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile, and she blushes heavily. But what? That sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko follows silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desk really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing, but I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over because I'll just go get them. I fetched a stack of books from beside the beanbags, where Hanako and I were sitting, and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? Yes, I do. I surprised myself with that too, honestly. At least, when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill the time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else, and just checks out books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop the books that I'm carrying or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? Hey, man. Still wearing that scarf? I turn around and see who is talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. Hey, man, you ever listen to the band Tool or Perfect Circle? Pretty cool bands. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? You don't recognize my voice? His voice suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we met before, yesterday. I don't think so. I would remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? Or do you have Alzheimer's disease, man? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we've met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with an uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Do you just have, like, paranoia? It's like, I'm living next to Alex Jones! Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met, or you are telling the truth, and I just can't remember it. Or are you a spy? He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger to my face, damningly. Unlike you. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. If you think you can pass as a Sao because I'm legally blind, you are sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim, maybe at a distance. But who do you think you're kidding? I mean, you at least remember my name. I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him, exasperated. I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did. Are you going to, like, walk through the fucking text window like Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club? Oh, wait, I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sighing again, and then once again for good measure, I step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good. I think something wrong? I don't know, I just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on the other people here, and I have no idea if it's because it's me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact earlier. No, I mean, we're just having a conversation with our roommate. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you can never be too careful. It's a hard reality we live in. It's cool, Alex Jones. I got you, man. I'm starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, this is how it is, the real world. There's no justice, you see. Even when I lose, I win, because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. Just like the points. And you just have, like, Drew Carey. The points don't even matter. You guys remember whose line is anyway? Like Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles? Drew Carey. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? Eh, it's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally, literally too. She actually ran away from me. Was my fault, really, I think? I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one. Cute? That's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair, but the face, I guess it'd go either way. Yeah, she was cute. I liked her. Yeah, she's cute, I guess. I knew it. There are a lot of cute girls here, a strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. I tried to warn you, man, but did you listen? I was distracted by the cute girls. I'm sorry, man. I won't let it happen again, Alex Jones. I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark. Like, this better not be a horror game later. Like, I find, like, a bunch of dead people in the basement. Like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in this school is slightly higher than the number of boys? Like 60-40? I don't know. I think that's just normal populations, man. He turns his head to the left and stares blankly in the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to be unrestrained eye, it appears bad, but it's like full 20%. One thing a school with such a huge pool would be a man's dream, but no. What I am about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? What's up? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I'm not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking in, knowing that he doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not. I believe the school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. What the fuck? This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In case the Cold War turns hot, they will have superiority in numbers. What? Just another skirmish in the eternal war against the forces of feminists. They're everywhere in Japan. Women outnumber men. It's a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Okay? Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers in the past. A build of military has always been the clearest sign of imminent war. What is happening? Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass. Is it, though? Is it? Is your economy badass? It's like everyone's like, are you making fun of Japan's economy? Don't worry, America's economy is fucking falling apart, too. We're probably going to be like a hardcore depression in a few years, and no one will have jobs. Well, like bread lines and shit. Like, everyone's, that's pessimistic. Hey, you can be like paranoid about like Alex Jones stuff. I can be paranoid about like we're gonna be like nuclear war soon. Also, what's with the music being so fucking dramatic? Small and isolated, a huge part of the Pacific in terms of political. I mean, the Pacific Ocean is really fucking big. Most of the planet is water and ocean, though. The perfect target. They are cunning, as expected of women. Soon the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That is why you can't trust them. They'll string you along and then kill you, just as they killed me. You'll end up just like... You're not dead, though. You're not... Wait. Kenji, are you a ghost? Wait. If I was actually psychic, would I be able to read the mind of ghosts? Is that... Okay, here's a question. Can ghosts be autistic? Can a ghost have ADHD? What if a person has schizophrenia and they die? Do they remain having schizophrenia as a ghost? Okay, I'm thinking about this too hard. Again, you're not dead, man. Right? Kenji, you're not a ghost, are you? Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So, you're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, so rude. Where was I? Oh yeah, Vest. Feminist conspiracy. Stop it. Stop it. I lost you way back somewhere. Somewhere around the feminist infiltration. Like, too hard to follow? Yeah, man, you kind of went off the rails, dude. That's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? I mean, technically, yes. But... Are we going to do anything perverted with the puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets? Okay. This is my friend Kermit the Frog. Graphs are still cool, though, right? He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an anime way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear now I was warm. Something on your mind, dude? It's cool. I'm just adjusting to living with Alex Jones. Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Kanji frowns, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last sane man in the insane world. That is my dream. How is it a dream? Why is that a goal? What the fuck? You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? Everyone's like, what's your dream? I'm trying not to make a perverted joke about Futanari. It's like, boobs! What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the whole last part. And the part is kind of important. There can only be one. What is the fucking Highlander? Like in that foreign movie where there can only be one. Yeah! Okay, come on! I even fucking called the movie. Like, I'm pretty sure me and the developer of this game are the only two people on the planet that remember the Highlander series exists. Also, the movie and ending to that was stupid. And in the end, there can only be one dude left, because that was the point. Yeah, everyone around just decapitating each other and eating each other's souls. I've never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. Can you at least bring snacks? Everyone's like, Lunar, stop being fat. I'm like, I mean, if I'm going to read graphs, I need snacks. I have a list of other dark and complex conspiracies that the school holds. As tangled as, quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. Going to go to bed now. It's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like cool to. Well, thanks. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when they try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes in the room so quickly and quietly. It's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like, is he a ghost? Are you actually dead, Kenji? I'm going to have to go to the librarian and be like, do I actually have roommates? Or do I just live alone? Am I talking to myself anyway? Again, this really is Lunar D8 Simulator. Hey, we're following this guy talking to himself. Back to my back rooms. Find the happiness. Step 1, find the happiness. Step 2, get the happiness. Can I look that up? I'll click on this clip from a thing called Braveheart. It's a movie. Pause. Okay. Memes. Find the happiness. What if I delete the word memes? Okay. Pause. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit in it in case it's too loud. Oh my god, it's actually the design in this room is the same one. The design in this room and the thing is the same as the happiness incident.
Step 1, rest in your bed. Step 2, turn on the radio. Step 3, rest with music. Step 4, get straight code. Step 5, the happiness is 25.0005554843611447058989858. Step 6, go downstairs. Step 7, try to find happiness. Get the happiness. Step 9. Get the happiness. Step 10. Happiness. Step 11. Goal sinner. Step 4. Get a straight goal.
Find the happiness. Get the happiness. I don't know if I can fully digest what happened, so I give up and go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into the bed. It takes me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comfortable against my cheeks, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. The school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I can't just seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that is fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anyone else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off, and the words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more of a school and less a hospital pretending to be a school that's thought it would be. Nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I opened one eye, seeing the school books and bottle of pills arranged side by side on my desk. Maybe the place is too much like a normal school after all. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It appeared like today is going to be very heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try. I don't have an answer for them if they do, so this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that's equal parts cute and menacing. And this smile says, "We have you now. There is no escape." Hi, Chan. It looks like we're together again. Yay, yay. Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Ha ha ha! I'm so happy the two of you were able to laugh at my expense, and I'm more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune slaps back into serious mode, and I didn't get to read something. Mostly just reading. In fact, there are two problems. I almost want to say something about how a rush to get started seems a bit much considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. Oh, hi. Do you want to work with us? While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looked like she's working alone. Why are you working alone? Do you want to join us? I mean, there's not much work, but yeah, I mean... I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there? Huh, who? Hee-chan? Oh, Hanako over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, Hee-chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I mean, yeah, it would suck to be alone. I mean, would she want to work with us? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No, I don't think that would be a good idea, Hee-chan. Why not? Shi-chan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Misha shovels around the question, letting out a laugh. That sounds very strange and nervous, but still lilting up and down, quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hee-chan. Okay, fine, I get it. I'll drop it. Obviously, it's an uncomfortable subject. By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything that she has been saying the whole time. What, Hee-chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that. What? Why are you enemies? You said it anyway. I know, Hee-chan, it's fine if you overhear. But... Did you guys, like, I don't know, fight over a boyfriend or something? I wonder if it's Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand things Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there's never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyway, we should start off problems now, Hee-chan. Okay, I get it, you guys don't like each other. I finished time to spare, and I decided to ask if there was any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly the food has been so far. The Sen Shizune are arguing among themselves about the favorite restaurants. Are there really? All of them are downtown. Well, that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And everyone's like, stop thinking about food. I'm like, I want to go to a restaurant and get something to eat. So I don't think we have time to go all the way there. What about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe they seem distracted by it and don't even notice that it's started the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder toward the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with lunch break, socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks, and the one actual box lunch is mixed in, chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels like I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she's invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulders toward the classroom through her door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I've started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? I feel like this would have multiple options. Let's look at the Steam page. Right now I only have the bundle of LaSalle, finished prologue achievements. Let's read the other achievements. Okay. Finish Hanako's Act 1. Finish Rin's Act 1. Finish Hanako's good ending. Reach Hanako's neutral ending. Can you tell me what you think? Reach Shizune's good ending. Is Carnival. Finish Emi's Act 1. Promise of Time. Finish Lily's Act 1. Throwing Balls. Finish Suzune's Act 1. Instant Replay. Reach Emi's bad ending. Can you stand up for yourself? Reach Emi's good ending. Misstep. Reach Hanako's bad ending. Can you see what I see? Reach Lily's good ending. Farewell. Reach Lily's neutral ending. Shards of Ire. Reach Rin's bad ending. Can you seize the day? Reach Rin's good ending. The world can only you can see. Reach Rin's neutral ending. Terminal. Reach Suzune's bad ending. 3 hidden achievements remaining. Details reached out were revealed. Okay. So, let's go to the store page real quick. Let's read the tags. Visual novel. Well, let's click here so I can read all the tags. Visual novel, romance, dating sim, cute, text-based, mobile endings, 2D, choices matter, emotional, story-rich, anime, relaxing, casual, narration, psychological, hand-drawn, single-player, narrative, choose your own, adventure, and simulation. Okay, so there's nothing saying like, gore or horror. So there aren't gonna be like people dying. There's not gonna be like, you got the ending where everyone fucking died. Like, why is everyone dead? Okay. I suppose I should just make a save. I need to make shorter videos. Also, by having multiple saves, maybe I can get all the endings. Escape. Save. New save. Yay, progress successfully saved. Main menu. Quit. I just know one time I quit and then like had like a couple extra special scenes. I don't know. Like trying to show you guys, hey, look, there's a scene where people just walked by and stuff. Okay, well, I guess I'll end the video and hope everyone had a wonderful day. Bye.